What's going on, buddy? My name is Eason. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to get into size and distribution of cities. So we're going to get started with some principles, like the primate cities and rank size rule that explain this, and then we're going to get into like the gravity model and a central place theory. Yay! And we'll end off with the scale check, of course. So city principles. Principles that are useful for explaining the distribution and size of cities include rank size rule, primate city, gravity model, and the central place theory. Getting started with the rank size rule. So this basically means the nth largest city will be 1 over n, the size of the largest city in terms of population. So n largest city. So the 5th largest city. If we're looking for the population of the 5th largest city, we use 5 as n, so we're going to plug it in 1 over 5. So 1/5 of the population of the largest city. And that's going to equal the population of the 5th largest city. So if you're a little confused, I'll give you an example. So here we have a country, and the largest city's population is 500,000, all right? So we have second largest. 2 is going to be n, so we're going to plug it in. 1 over 2, which is equal to 1/2. So the population of the second largest city is going to be 1/2 of 500,000. So 1/2 of 500,000 equals 250,000, and that's going to be the approximate population of the second largest city in this country. What about the 4th largest city? So what are we going to use as our denominator? We're going to use number 4. So 1/4 of 500,000. So 1/4 of 500,000 is 125,000. And that's going to be the approximate size of population for the 4th largest city. So you must have the population of that largest city, which is pretty easy to get. And then you can use the rank size rule to figure out the approximate population size of a certain city. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's look at America as a rank size state. Now, not all countries are going to follow this. Only certain ones are. So the largest city in terms of population in America is New York City. Has a population of about 8 million, all right? So the second one is Los Angeles. It has a population of about 4 million. So here we see half of the largest city is going to be 4 million. The second largest city is 4 million, rounded. So yeah, this follows it. The third one is not going to be, exact, but, it's going to be pretty close. Well, we're about, we're about, let's see, 8 point, I can't do math like this because I'm really stupid, but it's not exactly a third of 8 million, as we could see, but it's about there, though. So yeah, this is how America follows the rank size rule. You can see here, it's not exact, but it doesn't have one city that dominates the whole country. So in the United States, they have 2 common characteristics with other rank size states. What do you think these characteristics are? Well, the first characteristic is going to be that it is a federal government. Typically, states that follow the rank size rule are federal governments. And the second one is that it's a developed country. So our LDCs, especially Sub-Saharan Africa, is not going to typically follow the rank size rule. So that's something to know. Now let's get into the primate city in the country. Don't mind the bottom. We're going to get into that in just a second. So the primate city is basically the prime city in the country in terms of population, influence, and the economy. So an example is in Indonesia. So look at these cities. This does not follow the rank size rule. Alright, so look at the second largest city. It is not 1/2 of Jakarta. 2.3 million is not 1/2 of 8.5 million. Yeah, this does not follow the rank size rule. And so it follows the primate city. So what does this mean if the economy fails in Jakarta? What is that going to mean for the economy of the other cities in the country? Well, this basically means that those economies are going to fail. They're going to suffer as well. If Jakarta suffers, these other cities are going to suffer, and the rest of the country will suffer. Because Jakarta is dominating the country in terms of the economy in this case. I don't know for a fact, but, it's dominating the city in this. So if it suffers, the whole country suffers. This differs from the rank size rule because those other cities can cut some slack off the other city for failing a little bit. They can try to bring it back up or just hold it steady while that main city regains its place. Now let's get into the gravity model. So the interaction between two cities is impacted by the size and distance apart. So two large cities that are close together are going to have frequent interaction than two small cities further apart. Special features and amenities will interrupt this model. So look at a city like I gotta think of one, like I can't think of one off the top of my head. Oh my gosh. Let's go with Orlando, Florida. They're not, they're a decent sized city, but they're not like, a big city in terms of population. However, they have special features. They have Disney World. They have a bunch of things there. Disney's obviously the first thing that comes to my mind of it. But that's going to interrupt this gravity model. So other things like that. South of the border in South Carolina, that's one as well. I don't know exactly what city that's in, though. Let's look at an example of the gravity model using plane flights. So our starting is going to be in Houston, the Houston airport, okay? The top one is going to be a flight to Dallas, Texas, and then the bottom one is going to be a flight to Marshall, Arkansas. I have no idea what Marshall, Arkansas was until I looked up towns in Arkansas. So what's the first thing we notice? Well, number one is that there's going to be non-stop flights from Houston to Dallas. And then there's going to be layovers for flights from Houston to Marshall. That's the first thing. The second thing is flights are going to be more expensive from Houston to Marshall than from Houston to Dallas. Dallas is going to be cheaper than Marshall because it is closer. And then we see the time difference. There's a big time difference between Houston to Dallas and Dallas to Marshall. This is going to lower interaction and, promotion of interaction because it is farther away. Now, Dallas is also going to be a little bit cheaper and, nonstop because, one, it's a big airport as well. So, Houston airport's, one, also really, really big. So they're going to have better planes. They're going to have, cheaper prices because they're getting more flights in those areas. While Marshall, it's not going to be exactly, that way. So that's something else to think about. And that's the gravity model in action. Now let's get into our final part of the video, the central place theory. And the central place theory explains the distribution of services and settlements across a region. So we can see here the main city is this red dot in the middle of a hexagon. Towns are going to be orange and they're going to be a little farther away. Market towns are going to be in between a town and a city. And then villages are going to be in between, kind of like at the angles, at the dots of those hexagons. So there's going to be one city, a moderate amount, a small amount of towns, a moderate amount of market towns, a high amount of villages. And then this hexagon connects them all together and is continuously connecting them. They use a hexagon as circles will leave gaps and squares will leave unequal distances. So a circle will leave gaps in between them, everything's connected. And squares is going to leave unequal distances between the cities, towns, market towns, and all that stuff. Now, the central place theory uses threshold, population size necessary for a business to make profit, and range, the distance one will travel for a service. So things with high threshold are going to be in where the high population is, in the city. Range is also going to be that way. So high range is going to be either in the city or very far away from the city. Stuff like an airport. People are going to go a long distance for an airport just because they can save time and money. And it's the safest way to travel, by the way. So that's an example as well. And yeah, that's what threshold and range is, and that's what it uses in the central place theory. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. There's a scale check on the screen. Answer an FRQ style. It'll help you. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe down below. It's free and it really just helped me out. Leave a comment or criticism. I love criticism. Join my Discord server. We just hang out, do kind of fun things. Links in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. I got nothing else for you besides more AP Human videos in this unit. Anyways, adios.